Hey YouTube, here to do my movie review of Suicide Squad. To preface all of this, Suicide Squad is probably the most contested movie this year in terms of reviews. IMDb gives it a 7, whereas Rotten Tomatoes has it as a rotten at 26%. One of the people I respect most in the industry when it comes to reviews, Dan Merle, gave it it was good, but it had issues type of review, and the internet YouTube comment section really exploded on him. There are a lot of people a lot of people vigorously, I guess is the V word I was looking for, are vigorously defending this movie, going as far as saying he's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, he's actually a screenwriter and has studied film his whole life and has been in the industry for almost 2 decades, so he has some sort of clue as to how movies should be reviewed. I'm somewhere in the middle, so to preface this review, going into this movie, I was excited for it. I knew I would enjoy it, but I was apprehensive and thought the marketing campaign and the buzz going into it was a bit overrated. And I got just that out of it, honestly. It was very entertaining. I was really entertained for a lot of the movie, but the story-wise, this story of the movie had a lot of issues, and that's okay. I'm starting to see what the DCU is trying to do. It was very similar to Batman v Superman in the sense that it's trying to cram a lot of stories into one movie, by doing a lot of flashbacks and really, honestly, through the whole movie, they would explain. Here's a perfect example. Spoiler alert. They basically tell you Katana's backstory in one flashback and then one exposition by the Special Forces officer, Rick Flag. Rick Flag, her husband is in the sword, that's why she was talking to. And it's like, this is a whole movie in itself. Can we not just explain away someone's character backstory in like one sentence? And there were so many great characters in this movie, which were kind of established in one scene. Like Boomerang has a Flash cameo, and like, oh, I guess he's a villain of the Flash. And there were only 2 characters that really, maybe 3, but definitely 2. Deadshot and Harley Quinn both got excellent development. The third, maybe Diablo, who ended up being spoiler alert, Diablo dies in the movie, sacrifices himself to kill one of the main boss villains. But he was established very well. But other than that, it just felt like we were being told like 10 stories at once. Structurally, they made it work much better than Batman v Superman, though, because it's to be expected. You have a big cast, and you're trying to tell a story about all these people. But really, some of it was really rushed. The beginning especially, I was really worried 10 minutes in, because we were force-fed a lot of exposition, literally having titles come up on screen explaining to you who this character was, what's the rap sheet, and I just really wish that DC would slow down, because these are great stories we're being told. I just wish it had more time to cultivate. I think the best example is the Joker. The Joker, they really utilized him in this movie a lot, maybe more than they should have. But they did a great job establishing Harley Quinn. And they told a lot of her backstory with the Joker and how she's in love with the Joker and he did all these things to her to drive her crazy. But let's just jump into what I really didn't like to get this out of the way. I was talking about the beginning of the movie. The first act was done in a very montage fashion. It really felt like I was watching a music video. There were like non-stop songs back to back explaining each character, and each character had their own theme song. But for some reason, they played the music of sounding like it's playing in the jail cell with them rather than a track underneath in post-production. And that was an odd decision. It just felt like I was being thrown a lot of images at while literally being read a story in exposition. Viola Davis, as Amanda Waller, is telling us who these characters are, and this goes on for like 10 minutes, and it's like, okay, like, I would rather have a scene and learn who these characters are later than every single character's flashback force-fed to us quickly. And I get both. There's too many flashbacks in this movie. That's my second gripe with the movie. There's too many flashbacks. Sometimes flashbacks repeat themselves. For some reason, they repeat the flashback of why Enchantress turned on Rick Flag. Other thing I didn't like, unfortunately, the Joker's portrayal didn't work for me. It felt like Jared Leto's performance was trying to be like a combination of Heath Ledger's Joker and Mark Hamill's Joker. And it didn't work for me. It may have worked for you or many people, but I just wasn't scared by him, and I didn't feel intimidated by the Joker. And that might be thanks to some of the choppy editing of the scenes he was in, especially the scene where they're playing Purple Lamborghini in the background, where the Joker kills someone for not wanting a lap dance from Harley Quinn. Yeah, and the third act, once they leave the bar, it just turns into like a video game boss battle. It was cool, it was visually stimulating, but there was one comment I saw on YouTube, like basically summed up how I felt about the movie as well. One comment on YouTube I saw said, "I wish they made the villain the Joker instead of turning it into like a video game boss battle ending or the ending it had." And yeah, I mean, it's the strangest feeling though for this movie, because I didn't really enjoy the beginning, but there were a lot of parts in the movie, so overall at the end I was very satisfied. I don't regret buying the movie ticket, and unlike Batman v Superman, I actually tell people you should go see it because it's something new. And I can see why DC is doing it the way they're doing it. It's not necessarily they want to catch up. They want to make more money with less movies. And I don't think it's going to make a lot. This one will make $1 billion. I think it'll probably make around $500 million. Because again, I really enjoyed a lot of scenes. And I'll get into what I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed, again, Harley Quinn, Deadshot. They had great performances. I really enjoyed Amanda Waller's, Viola Davis's Amanda Waller. I, again, there were scenes I really enjoyed. I liked the scene where the Joker throws a Harley Quinn in the acid vat. I really enjoyed the scene in the bar where they're talking about their lives and why they do what they do. What I think this movie did really well is talking about the human condition through the dialogue of villains. And yeah, I think that worked great. It was a weird thing. It felt like I was watching a really good movie that was like I felt like I was watching something with a great script that didn't deliver how it should have. And it's a very bittersweet taste at the end. So again, I really suggest watching it to any of you out there. Watch the movie. Really, no, do. But it's not Citizen Kane. And a lot of you out there are just like, well, you're just a DC hater. And it's like, no, what I think the DCU is doing is trying to cram too much and too little. And I wish they didn't, because it's not doing justice to the source material. Something Marvel movies have done, and I really hate to default to comparing Marvel and DC, but Marvel movies have taken one story arc and put it into its own. Each of them have had their own movie. Like Extremis was Iron Man 3. Even if Iron Man 3 was a mess, it was still just one story arc that you can compare it to. Likewise, Civil War was, although an event, it was one story arc. And I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but my point is, what DC is doing is, like with Batman v Superman, they're taking Death of Superman, they're taking Doomsday, more other stuff, Death of Superman included. They're taking the Frank Miller Batman v Superman comic. They're taking more story about Lex Luthor, and it's just too much in one movie. And then you're like ruining all these arcs. You burnt the you burnt the Death of Superman, which should have happened later down the line. Suicide Squad, you could have easily taken more out of it instead of pulling in all the source material. The Harley Quinn origin story is its own movie. Deadshot's origin story is its own movie. Katana's origin story, its own movie. Katana's origin deserves more than Rick Flag just saying, well, she's talking to the sword because her husband's soul is on that sword. It's I want better from DC, because I don't want the source material abused. Another reason why I'm so hard on this is movies nowadays seem to have a lower standard than they've ever had, because Hollywood has finally figured out they can make more money in Asia by making movies with just big action sequences and not really focus on the story. And that's how the last Transformers made almost $1.5 billion. And it's being kind of fueled by greed now, rather than even caring about the characters you're portraying. Harley Quinn, the Joker, Deadshot, these are all characters who deserve a good story to be told. But Hollywood wants just to throw it all in one hour and a half story for you just to ingest all at once. And they're making more money. I mean, in contrast, just hear me out here. Suicide Squad has made $135 million opening weekend for August. Biggest August opening. The last record holder of this was Guardians of the Galaxy, which made $90 million. Many people say, well, Guardians of the Galaxy isn't the best movie either, but it still made sense, and they still didn't resort to cheap storytelling tactics like flashbacks to establish a character. Rather they let their characters shine through dialogue and monologue, which is how you establish characters in cinema. You let them speak for themselves, rather than Viola Davis saying, well, this is Deadshot, he never misses a shot, which they did with Deadshot, great, but not really any other characters in this movie. The Native American, oh my gosh, I didn't even get his name. He climbs buildings. Oh, he's dead. Oh well. No, you kill a character you care about. Like, yeah, okay, woo, DC kills characters. Yeah, but they killed people we don't care about. You know, they could have not pussed out and left Superman dead, but Zack Snyder wanted to make it look like he was alive. Okay, I digress. Again, I really enjoyed the movie, but I just wanted so much more out of it, and I really wish it was as good as its marketing campaign. In closing, how this ties into the DC universe. It ties in, hopefully, as well as its mid-credit scene. Spoiler alert, there's no end-credit scene, but in the middle of the credits, Viola Davis is talking to... I keep saying Viola Davis. Amanda Waller is talking to Bruce Wayne, hands him a folder, and Bruce Wayne says, I give you protection. Not in that voice, not in the Batman voice. But Amanda Waller says, you should stop working late nights to him, and he says, careful, my team's going to destroy your team. Dun dun dun. But that doesn't mean anything to anyone anymore, because the Comic-Con trailer was already released for Justice League. This mid-credit scene was so much better than the Comic-Con trailer. It was so much better than the Comic-Con trailer. This mid-credit scene was awesome. If the whole movie could be as short, sweet, to the point as this mid-credit scene, where you're getting all the story you need from dialogue rather than flashback, then this movie would have been way better. But again, see it for yourself. You be the judge. If you don't like what I said, it's okay. You don't have to hate me for it. You don't have to call me an idiot. You don't have to do that. You can if you want to, but it's the internet, so no one really cares. And if you have made it this far in the video and are pissed off at me, thanks for watching it this far. If you kind of agree with what I'm saying, spot me a like. And I'll have more videos for you soon. I've been wanting to do more videos. I've recorded videos, but I just haven't been posting them because things have been crazy lately. But I promise you guys I'll have more videos for you soon. Keep it locked right here on YouTube. I'll catch you later.